Once you reach the motherhood, something changes. Switch flips.
What did you feel when you took that break? Did you feel like you lost some identity of yours?
I found it very hard to balance my IT career and my personal life. That's when I decided, okay, let me focus on my baby at this point of time because it's very important. And I decided to be a homemaker. And I thought it'll be easy because after all, you're a mother.
What really provoked you to starting this?
You are the only person sitting idle. Something changes in you. From an IT employee with 8 years of experience, but I couldn't think big in when I was in that position.
So, whether you're listening with your morning coffee, on your commute, or during a rare quiet moment, get ready to take notes. What if the most qualified people for the job weren't even in the job market? What if they were sitting at home, not because they lack skills or ambition, but because somewhere along the way, life, motherhood, and societal expectations told them to step back? And what if bringing them back could transform not just their lives, but entire businesses? If you are new here, welcome, and I'm your host, Jaslin Jason. And today's conversation is going to speak to so many of you. Whether you have taken a break from work, you're thinking of returning, or you're leading teams and wondering how to tap into talent that's been often overlooked. My guest today is Sankari Sudhar, founder of Overqualified Housewives, a platform that's rewriting rules of career comebacks in India. From being an engineer and IT professional to stepping away after motherhood to building a movement that's connected over 34,000 women with dignified, flexible work, Shankari knows exactly what it takes to go from invisible to in demand. She's been featured on TEDx, CNN News 18, The Hindu, and countless other platforms. But more importantly, she's on the ground every day, helping women reclaim their confidence, income, and identity. In this episode, we are getting very practical. We will talk about how to restart your career after years away, how to handle family pressure when they are not on board, how to set boundaries at home and work, and the exact skills and steps you can use to start earning again without losing yourself in the process. So, whether you're listening with your morning coffee, on your commute, or during a rare quiet moment, get ready to take notes. Hi, Shankari. Welcome to our podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. I was truly inspired by your journey, and that is why I wanted to do this because I wanted your voice to reach as many people as possible. Um, and I also wanted to get into more details about practical insights as we discussed about how women can sort of come back. So, Shankari, welcome and looking forward to this, right? So, to start off with, why don't you tell us a bit about your journey as to what really provoked you to starting this? What did you feel when you took that break? Did you feel like you lost some identity of yours and things like that?
So, all through my life, I was, you know, educated in a way that if you do these things, then you'd be here. So a framework was already given. So my brother is the first person to go and work in an IT company. So I would say that he's the one. Whenever he used to travel, when he did his first on-site visit and all, so he brought me that plane ticket, and he was showing, see, this is my ticket, you are going to go here sometime. Myself and my brother, he's 13 years elder to me. He's very big. I mean, he's like my father, I would say. So because of all that, I was thinking, if I study well, if I do these things, then I'll be there. It's automatic. That was life until motherhood. So once you reach the motherhood, something changes. Switch flips. And I found it very hard to balance my IT career and my personal life. That's when I decided, okay, let me focus on my baby at this point of time because it's very important. And I decided to be a homemaker. And I thought it'll be easy because I've seen my amma as a homemaker, and I thought it is easy. But once I became a homemaker, I understood it is one of the most difficult jobs you can ever do. And if you are brought up in this way, telling that all these things are possible, all those, suddenly when you are in those four walls, And when you are with your baby, with nobody else, and when you see the world through social media growing, you are the only person sitting idle, something changes in you. So that's what happened. From an IT employee with 8 years of experience, I couldn't find or I couldn't think big in when I was in that position. And even when I stepped out with my husband, I still remember an event, Jaslin. I think I have to tell this here. So whenever I go out for any kind of a family event or something, when somebody asked me, "What are you doing, Shankari?" I was so proud to say that I work in this MNC, all that. I have this designation. And I went with my baby to an event, and somebody asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm a homemaker." And they were like, "Oh, that, oh." It was so hurtful. And they didn't even have a conversation with me because they thought that I will not be having anything to share. So that's the reality check. That's when I decided, okay, so it is not that good. Or at least I understood the pain of a homemaker. And I thought that it is just a phase. I knew that it is just a phase and I will come out of it, but I couldn't find a way forward. I felt like I was trapped. Though I had experience, I had skills. Many women are like me. When I was when I was a homemaker, we have skills, we have degrees, but we don't know how to figure the next way out. I didn't want to go back to the same IT job because I was doing it well. Money was good, but that was not my passion, or that was not something which is of my calling. So I wanted to do something in my second innings which will be meaningful, not just for me but for all. So that's when you know, I decided to go into that pathway and figure out myself. And somehow I came in the other way. I saw the light in the end of the tunnel and I came out. But it is no more than a decision, I would say. I decided, but I took some steps as well. Many of us have this wish, but are we ready to take some action? Are we ready to, um, you know, become uncomfortable? Are we ready to go ahead and do what is necessary? Are we ready to do the tough conversation with our family? Are we ready to be named selfish? Are we ready to be not a so good girl? All those. So yeah, if you are ready, then you will also you can also see the light at the end of the tunnel and you can move forward.
So, one of the things you stated is, are we ready to have tough conversations with our family, right? Is there any specific conversation that you remember that was extremely tough for you? And how did you sort of come out of it?
So the moment I decided that I'm going to start something like Overqualified Housewives, I knew the pain firsthand because I have gone through the same pain, and I saw a lot of women who are like me. I started speaking with my friends, my acquaintances, and I thought that they'll be well settled by now. But they were also in the same boat. We lost connection, but they studied really well, they accomplished well in their career, but after a point, they were not able to move forward. Then I decided to talk to my sister. She's my cousin sister. I spoke to her. I told her she's still working. She's from my hometown, but she didn't take any career break. So I spoke to her, and she was like, "This idea is very nice, Shankari. Okay, even I have a lot of my friends who were stuck. At least I had a support system. And I was in a position to support my family financially. That was the only way ahead. I had to support. So somehow I pushed myself. But there were so many others, my classmates, who had this privilege to take a choice. And they took the choice and they are at home forever, even now, but they have that regret. So this is something which will be wonderful. That is what she said. I was super happy. Oh my God, okay, Akka said superb. Then I gathered my courage and I spoke to my elder brother, whom I saw. He's like my mentor. He's an example. So I spoke to him and he was like, "Oh, I got another O here." And he was like, why you have to do this now? You studied in MIT, you did well in your career, you can go back to an IT job after a while. Why you have to do these kind of things, entrepreneurship, with a very small baby? My son was only 1 year old, right? So I was like, okay, see, for now, just forget all that. Focus on your baby. You can upskill. I will help you get some job. Don't worry. Don't think about anything else. Don't think, complicate things. You're complicating things. Then I was like, okay. I was super scared actually to have that call. Then I was like, okay. I didn't even have the guts to talk to my parents at that point of time. Then I went ahead and spoke to my husband. I told him, I want to talk to you, but I want us to be an important conversation. I don't want any disturbance. Let's leave our baby somewhere and then we will go. So we two went out and I spoke to him. I told him, this is what I think. I could see the potential, and if I do this, I think there is a possibility. To my surprise, he was like, wow, it's amazing. This might work out, but it is not going to be easy. Are you ready to take up this journey? And I was like, yes, I will do all in. I will go all in. I'll give my 100%. And he said, I'll be there to support you. Don't worry. Go ahead and do it. So after having the conversation with my husband, then I informed my parents. I informed my in-laws. I didn't take permission from them. The only permission or the only acknowledgement which I wanted was only from my husband. So thankfully, I was able to get that. And he was the only supporter right from the beginning. Until I, around 1.5 years it took for me to get even a nod from my parents. Like, okay, she's doing something. So yeah, at times what I feel is, Jaslin, we have seen thousands of women in this journey, and one thing which I have seen in common is we try to get acknowledgement and we try to get the nod, the yes nod from everybody from our family. Like our in-laws has to say yes, our parents has to say yes, our siblings has to say yes, then your husband's siblings has to say yes, all that. No. So for me, it was my husband. For you, it might be your parents, or it might be your in-laws, or it might be a friend. Can be anybody. We have to take that yes, and our people will be watching us silently. They will not acknowledge you until you reach a certain point of time. They will be seeing whether you keep your word, whether you are doing what you have promised yourself to do. If they see you working hard, if they see you pursuing things which you believe in, they will get that belief. That's how you get the belief. That's how it works. You cannot get the applause just for starting up something.
Yeah, I totally agree, Shankari. There's this book I just finished reading today, The Courage to be Disliked. And that book basically talks about this, right? That one shouldn't be living for getting recognition from others. The only thing that truly gives happiness is doing something that you get a feeling is contributing to others' goodness. And it's just that feeling that gives you happiness. And if you truly follow that feeling, you really don't need others' acknowledgement, because that feeling is the kind of contentment that you're looking for. And what you said rightly fits that, right? It's that feeling of doing something for others and contributing to others' life, and whether the others come around or not is not really your job. Your job is to just make a better place, which you are doing wonderfully. And if somebody doesn't acknowledge it, it's on them. And if somebody acknowledges, great. Right? It's really not yours. But like you rightly said, a lot of women get into that mindset of wanting a yes from everybody. And sometimes some women may not even have the support of the husband, right? They may not have anybody, but at least I do believe at times you have to focus on yourself and go with what your heart says is right.
Yes.
um it it eventually, as long as you're doing the right thing, it's
Absolutely.
your journey, right?
Absolutely.
Now, you said when you told your husband that it's not going to be easy, and you said it's not going to be easy, you also agreed on that. Can you tell me, give me one or two instances which were probably the most difficult instances for you in this entrepreneurial journey?
Yes. Um, I think I have to go back to the initial days. So the moment I decided to become a business owner and entrepreneur, I decided to hire a nanny. So we had a babysitter, and just last week, I guess I was counting the number of babysitters we have appointed in the last 2 years. And to my surprise, our eighth babysitter is working now, and she'll be leaving this month. So I have to find my ninth babysitter. So when you don't have a support system, right, your parents or in-laws who can take care of your child, then relying on the external system itself is a big. It takes up a lot of energy to find that good person to take care of your child. So in the initial days, when I started the first month, my son was only 15 months old, and he used to cry whenever I'm in a meeting. I sit in a meeting, I lock the door, and I can clearly hear him crying outside the door. And it used to hurt me a lot. And in the initial days, he used to fell sick a lot. And whenever he feels something, I some kind of illness comes in, it can be cold, it can be fever, anything, I used to put that on myself. I used to think that it's because of me that he's going through all this. I'm making my baby cry, right? Though I was working from home, actually, I was working from home, but yet the guilt was something which was consuming me a lot. I felt that I'm not doing the right thing, all that. Whenever I had to step out, he used to cry to the sense that I can hear him. When I'm going in an auto or something, I can hear his voice from the road. And it used to be so painful. Oh my God, why am I doing this? And I felt that what if my son start considering the babysitter as his mother? What if he hates me? What if I cause some trauma? That is something else. All those things. Then what I understood is, it is just a phase. He may not understand it now, but he will understand it later. If it's not about the quantity of the time, it's all about the quality. Even if I can invest some 2 hours or so in my day with him without any devices, without any other disturbances and distractions, I think that is fine. Because even when I was a homemaker, I used to be with him 24/7, but I was physically present and mentally absent. I used to think about something else. I used to use my phone and see social media. I'll be cooking, cleaning, doing something or the other. So I was not so consciously investing my time on him. I was giving all my quantity of time, but there was no quality. Then consciously, I decided that this feeling is going to be there because after all, you're a mother, right? So this is going to be there. But why are you taking this time from him? It's for a it's for something which is very important, and he is going to feel proud once you have done something worthwhile, and it is going to teach him as well. He's going to learn from you. We think that we want our children to be successful. We want our children to be good, right? Intelligent, all that. We want our children to read books, to excel in everything they do. Children don't do what we ask them to do. They do what they see. So if we excel in things, if we read a book, if we excel in our work, if we do something meaningful, worthwhile, that's how you teach. That's how you raise the next generation in a good way. So I decided to take that. So the thought of adding value to other people, the thought of making something worthwhile, giving something good to others, helping them to raise their level, all these things it is going to go into him. If I stop now, probably he will get his mother back, but nothing else comes out of it. So this is a tough decision, but I'm doing it for my child as well. It is not a selfish thing to do. Nothing is selfish. We are just being an example. So two things help. One thing is acceptance. This is a natural feeling. But second thing is a conscious decision to spend some quality time with him every single day. This is the time which I invest on him. So that is non-negotiable. Every day I take out time. So these two things have helped me, Jaslin.
Makes sense. Now, in your journey, right? You have dealt with many women who are looking to come back, right? And you help place them. What are the biggest uh, you know issues or drawbacks that you see with women who are trying to come back and are not able to make it?
Okay. So first thing is they want to do it. They want to restart. They want to make their own money. Everything is there as a want. It's not in their need. So they are not, unfortunately, not many women are ready to put that work. They want everything to be aligned, everything to come into a place for them to take action. It is never going to happen. We have seen recently, I think 2 months back, we got an opportunity through us. A woman got an opportunity from a very big institute, an esteemed institution in India, and she got a very good pay as well. She was in a career break, so she got a very good pay as well. And I think 2 days before her joining date, her mother-in-law passed away. So it was so hard on her. Of course, she was relying on her mother-in-law to take care of her child, and this unfortunate thing happened. And we were trying to connect with her, finding some kind of an alternative. We can talk to the employer also and get some extension. Probably she can join after a month or two, something like that. Suddenly she became unreachable. Even the employer couldn't reach her, and we couldn't reach her as well. And then after 10 days or so, we received an email saying that she's not in a position to restart at this point of time, and she didn't want to go ahead with this job. So for almost 1.5 months or so, we had taken so much effort to convince and to get this opportunity. And she got a very good pay as well. So we again replied saying that we will help you to negotiate. We will at least find some 3 months or so that you can settle. But she was not ready. Then after 2 months, she came back and she's asking, I want an opportunity. Help me find one. How is it possible? If we cannot, this happens. We have seen it so many times. Okay, so not in this level, at least. She got the opportunity. Everything was well settled for her. But just because she was not able to take that tough decision at that point of time, she lost an opportunity. We were telling her that we will help her. And this is one lost opportunity. And do you think that we can help her again? What if something happens again?
Yeah.
Right? It's very tough. We cannot convince the employer also. And she's not doing it for herself alone. That is something else. If an employer, after taking all the effort, if they are seeing a woman dropping out before joining, already it's very difficult to give an opportunity to a career restarter. They will think that this is how every career restarter behaves. So she's stopping the opportunity for other women also that we are not able to understand. So each and every opportunity is so precious. Each and every email is so precious. We have to give that respect and we have to understand the effort which has been taken. That we have seen with so many women. They just take it for granted. When you send an email regarding an opportunity, they will check after 10 days or so. Already the applying date would have been ended, and they'll be like, I want to apply to this role. It's not going to happen because you should have checked your email. So the least we can do, even the least things, many are not ready to do, Jaslin. That is checking emails every day, then taking calls when a client is calling, when some business is reaching out. taking that interview call on time, right? Upskilling ourselves with just our degree. Nobody is going to give opportunity. Some kind of entitlement we have when we sit at home and when we are away from the workforce, some kind of entitlement came, come in inside. We think that people are have to give opportunity to me. I'm applying, I'm uploading my resume here. This platform, this person has to give me an opportunity because I have uploaded. I've taken the effort to upload my resume. But when you go and look at their resume, that resume would have been made in their college years with a tabular column format, all that. So we want financial independence. We want to be an example to our kids. We want something good for ourselves and for our family. But are we ready even to take that simple steps? That is the question which we have to ask. This is the most painful point which we have seen when you handle thousands of women, Jaslin. Not everybody are seen, right? So this we have to keep in mind. It's not just about the interest, it's about what you do before you get an opportunity, after you get an opportunity. It matters, not just for you, but for all the women who are coming after you.
So, if a woman wants to start, right, restart her career, what would you say should be the first few things she needs to look at before she decides to say yes to a job or apply? What are the first couple of things that definitely she needs to sort of look at?
When you decide to restart, you should have a clear why. Are you clear about your why? Why you have to restart? Why at this point of time? What's the reason to restart? And why at this point of time? For me, my why was so strong because few people have asked me actually, just 15 months, not even 1.5 years you were at home. Why you took all that pressure? Why you felt that kind of a, loneliness and all that? Because for me, right, it felt so hard. I felt like I'm losing myself. I felt like if I'm not taking action right now, I might sit in the same place forever. I could feel that in my bones, and because of that, I didn't want I didn't want to stay in the same place, and I decided to do something or the other at this point of time, and that was my reason. Many of us don't know our why. If your child is sick, let's say 1 year or so, and if you are deciding to restart at this point of time, it's not going to be easy. So if you don't have a strong why, it's not going to happen. So why, understanding your why, this is first thing. And second thing is going back and revisiting your old self. I still remember how I was slowly losing my self confidence. I stopped speaking to people because somehow career break erodes your self confidence. I don't know. It happens. Maybe because we are locked inside our home, or it is because of the society. I don't know why, but something happens. So we have to revisit our old self. My old self was super good in her studies. She had so many things to be proud of. I wanted that person to come back again. We all have that person in the future, sorry, in the past. The present is clueless, yes. But if you want your future self to be different, you have to revisit the past. And you have to write down each and everything which she had done well, because that is not for the employer to see. It is for you to remember that person, to feel that like that person again. That will bring back the confidence. And again, acting before even you apply. Okay, you have applied, you have prepared your resume, you have highlighted all the transferable skills. Many ignore this transferable skills. When you are in break, you would have learned a lot of things. I have learned problem solving, I've learned time management, I've learned negotiation. Now I'm learning negotiation skills with a toddler. I have to negotiate for everything. He's so convincing. Even at times I'm like, oh, okay. I know that I should not say yes, but he's so good in negotiation that I have to be much better, right, to make him do things. Managing the household, so many things. These are empathy. something which I can feel. I was not a person who could think for all before my child was born, but now something in me changed. So for many of you, it would have happened. So all these things are also important skills, which we can definitely highlight in our resume. And yes, of course, our degrees, our skills which we have acquired, and then how are we ready to handle the current change in the industry? For that, you should have shown what you have upskilled, how you have applied. All those things should be there in the resume. So that will increase the chances of picking, right, getting selected in the first round. And when we are doing that, it is very important to create a lot of evidences for ourselves. I'm concentrating more on mindset, Jaslin, today, because skill set is, of course, we have n number of tech platforms where we can go learn several skills, hot skills, AI skills, all those. But the mindset, if we can have the right mindset, everything else is just a byproduct, right? So we have to, if we have to improve our self-esteem, then we have to show evidences, some positive evidences to ourselves every day. Yes, so Jaslin decided to do this and she did this today, right? If I want to achieve this, then I have to do this part today. Only then that will become a byproduct. So if you can do this today, if you can be consistently doing, learning, all that, automatically your respect for yourself will improve. And if your self respect improves, then self confidence, self esteem, everything improves, right? So when you feel that, yes, this is what I am, this is what I have learned, this is what I can contribute to your organization. And if you go with that stature, with that mindset, people can feel you, like people can understand. They will not reject, or they will not, they'll be quick to grab you and give you a good opportunity. That's why we have to be the absolute best and the beast in whatever we are doing. If we have these two combination, then we will end up in a very good opportunity where we can see our growth as well. To cover this, I want to add one more point, Jaslin. So when as a career restarter, right, when there are so many opportunities, let's assume that a career restarter has some 2 to 3 opportunities available. Okay, and all those she got selected. So what kind of opportunity is best for her to pursue? We have seen a few people who rejects an opportunity because it is not paying her much than her previous salary. But what I would suggest them is, it's not, don't just look only the salary. Also look at the growth curve which you can get from that organization. Because if you have taken break for 3 years or so, you have to quickly grab and move up to the next level, right? So at least the second innings should be of some meaning. So we should be in a position to grab some opportunity where we have some kind of a growth, good growth when you go to that organization. It is not just about the pay. That is something which is very important. Of course, we cannot say yes to an opportunity which exploits you. That is also there, right? Which is available in large number of numbers, where people try to exploit just because you are a career restarter, or just because you are a woman. No, but always see what kind of organization is this, what kind of values they hold, what kind of growth you can get for yourself, and also you can give to the organization. So if we can think that big picture, and if we can act every day, then we will reach wherever we want to.
Right. So, from what I understand, I think the biggest challenge that you feel is mindset, and the biggest thing that people need to work on is mindset as well.
Absolutely.
Um, Going back, right? So it's a thin line, I would say, right? Because you said there are people who have a feeling of self entitlement, but obviously you also sometimes lose confidence.
Yes.
So it has to be a thin line of being confident, but not being overconfident or self entitled, right? Okay. Now you said some of the challenges, right? Are there any inspiring stories that you had in your, work which you felt super proud of that you can share with the world?
Absolutely. Actually, there are so many stories, and one such story happened very recently. So, uh, she's a woman who used to work, when she was young. And even after she had two children, she used to work. Then, after her second child, after working for a while, she decided to take a break because she found that she's losing a lot, right? A lot of time with her children. And it became very difficult for her, overwhelming. So, she decided to take a break. And she took a break for 20 years. 20 years.
20 years. Oh
20
my
years
God.
of career break.
Okay.
20 years.
So she
So,
didn't work for 20 years.
yes, she
Yeah.
didn't work for 20 years. But when her children were born, she was working. After maternity leave, she went back. After 20 years, during COVID, when during COVID, her husband was not feeling so well. And that was the moment, after a very long time, she started sensing that she had to do something, because her husband is the only sole breadwinner of the family, and he's also not that well. And her first daughter, she started working after a while. Second daughter is studying college. So then, after COVID, she lost her husband. That's when she decided, okay, I have to do something. But just think, after 20 years, she had to do something. So suddenly, I think in YouTube, she started using WhatsApp, YouTube, all those. And in YouTube, she saw my video, it seems. And I was in that video, I think I spoke about career restart as my journey, all those. And she mentioned that she could relate to me so much that she was feeling that I'm telling her story. And she mentioned it was an interview for 2.5 hours, and she couldn't pause the interview even for a minute. She sat and watched the entire video. And then she went to her daughter, elder daughter, and asked her how to apply in our portal, our Overqualified Housewives. Her first daughter only helped her to prepare the resume, and she was the one who helped her to register. Okay, so 1 year gone after that. And 2 months back, she got an opportunity through us. She restarted through us. And
Nice.
she learned so many technical things and all in this time. She was putting in work, but she was constantly trying. And she's now 53 years old. Her name is Bhagya Lakshmi. And when we reached out to her for the testimonial, we didn't know all those stories and all. For us, it is a candidate, she's a candidate, that's all. So when we reached out to her for testimonial after giving opportunity, when we saw her in the video, I was like, oh my God, okay. Then she told all this is how it happened. And I'm so glad that I watched that video. And now I'm able to make my own money after 20 long years. And I never even believed that it's going to happen for me, because technology has, you know, so much advancements has happened. The employer is also open minded because she's very good. Her communication is very good. The employer is also open minded to help her in this journey, because she has that guts and things. So this is it was super inspiring for me, because i I didn't even had a clue that she watched my video. And when I started, I thought that I'm going to serve women who are like me, right, who are working and then took a break, all those. I never even thought in my wildest dreams that we will be helping a career restarter who has 20 years of career break. And I'm 30, 32, and she is 53. And I don't know, my story related to her story. So what I understood is, we are so, what to say, we are so same and different at the same time, right? So we might be thinking my situation is different, all that. But if I write down, right, 10 reasons, I can definitely relate with all women can definitely relate to all those 10 reasons. I think that happened with us as well, right, Jaslin, in our
Yes.
first call. That was the first call, and we spoke for around 1 hour or so, because we could connect a lot, right? It happens. Then I understood, okay, we are so, we are so similar. And
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
one story. And second story is, I think I mentioned about this woman. She studied well and she worked in a very big MNC and she was making very good money. Then she got married and she got married into a tier 3 village. Her husband was doing good, but she got into arranged marriage, in an arranged marriage setup, a joint family. So most of her time used to go in the kitchen. And now she is sitting in a tier 3 village. She got an opportunity through us. She was working with the clients for a decent amount. It was not so much, okay, very decent amount. And she worked for around 1 year. And then suddenly one day the employer called and they said that we are going to triple her salary. And we are going to give her an award in our annual function this year because she's excelling. Like, she's bringing so much business, and we want to observe her full time, and we want to give her everything. So, if I have to tell the salary, from 20,000 in 1 year, she's now making around 1,30,000. I don't know, not triple, more than that actually. My mathematics is that it's not mathing now. So just imagine.
6.5 times. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So, but she was putting in the work. That's what I'm telling. For her, she took a salary cut, but she could see the growth curve. The organization is good, the values is good, founders are good. So something in her told her to, okay, this is a good opportunity, let me give my 100%. She gave her 100%. That's why she could get such a good opportunity. After getting that pay rise and everything, she called me and she said, Shankari, I wanted to talk to you and this is what has happened. And I'm so happy. The only opportunity I had from sitting in this village is tuition, taking tuition to children. Other than that, there is no way that I can think about career or something like that. I cannot leave this home, right? I have a joint family setup. Just look at the kind of responsibilities I'll be having every day. But somehow I pushed myself. Somehow I gathered all the courage. Somehow I made the tough conversation. And now I'm so proud that I'm making more than what I was making previously, sitting from a village. So thanks to you and thanks to Overqualified Housewives. So I was like, oh my God, that's so amazing. So many women are like that, right, Jaslin? After marriage, they move, completely migrate. That's why I always mention that we have to tell to the world that women are more adaptable than any other species in the world, right? We can adapt everywhere. If you put a woman here from Delhi to some small place, she'll adapt there also. From Chennai to UK, she'll adapt there also. She'll find the way somehow. And so many women, we are just uprooting everything and putting her somewhere. And good that she got that confidence somewhere and she pushed through all the hurdles, and she was keeping her promise. That's why I want to tell here, both Bhagyashree and Suganya, the second person name is Suganya, they kept their promise which they have made. It was not easy for them, definitely not easy. I have no clue how many self doubts would have been there in Bhagya's mind, right? 20 years of break. I don't know how many people ridiculed her. But now the story is different. For Suganya, same thing. Every day she kept her promise. She gave her 100%. That's what we have to do.
Very, very inspiring stories, Shankari. Even I'm feeling almost goosebumps on my body listening to them. Um, so one very practical aspect, right? When you take a break, how do you sort of get back in terms of even the industry, right? Now, you guys are clearly dealing with somebody who's maybe even 1 or 2 years of break to 20 years of break. So, How do you sort of make sure that they are ready, and what are the kind of skill sets that you sort of train them with, or they should be equipped, to sort of go back? Because I'm sure that is a big question in everybody's mind when they want to come back, that, like you stated, the industry is changing very fast. What if I don't know anything? Yes, I know time management and all of that, but what if I don't understand the language they are speaking, right? How do you sort of navigate and bridge that gap?
It's a fantastic question, Jaslin. So I think again it starts with acceptance. So we have to accept the fact that we we need to learn. We have to be ready, even though we had 10, 15 years of experience in our career, and even if we have taken only 1 or 2 years of break. Every single industry is growing very fast, that too with AI. At least previously it was like a yearly change, but now I yeah, you are working in an AI company, and right, every week, is it, or every day there is
Yeah.
some change.
Yeah.
so so what we need to do is, we need to understand that, and then many think that they have to go back to the same industry which they have worked, or they have to go back to the same industry which they have studied. Let's assume that there is an engineer who studied computer science engineering, and it's been 10 years since she has finished her BE or AME. If she is not that passionate about that, she need not go back to the same thing. She can find something else as well. This is not the only skill which she can acquire. So that's why what we have decided to do is, instead of coming up with some certain courses, what we thought is, we will invite subject matter experts from different industries, from different fields, come and share what is happening in that particular industry, how these women can get into these industries, what they have to do in order to learn these skills. So that's what we started doing. So we have speakers who are content writers. We have speakers who worked in medical coding. We have had speakers who are coaches. We have had speakers who are working in senior positions in top companies like Microsoft, and so on and so forth. So we have speakers from testing. We have had speakers from AI courses and all those. So now as AI is coming up, so we started giving an understanding to these women of what and all is possible. It's like a platter. So many things are available. Choose according to the industry's prospects. Okay, choose according to how much time. I always tell this equation. It is not just about desiring to go back. It is also about how much time you can give to upskill yourself. How much time you can invest once you get an opportunity. How much money you expect to make from that opportunity, how much effort you are ready to give. You have to consider all these things in equation, and how much growth potential this particular industry has. We have to consider all these 5 things and then take a decision, right? We have seen IT professionals who are fantastic subject matter experts, and writing technical content, writing technical content, doing amazing, because they need that. They want to be freelancers. They want there is they want to be agile, and they want to have few things in their control. So they are ready to do that. And we have seen some biotechnologists, okay, restarting. They have that what to say, thirst for knowledge. They absolutely enjoyed studying and working in that field, so she went back to the same field because that's her interest. She can give all, and she can do whatever that is needed. So of course she has to go back to the same
Same.
thing, right? So it's all. I studied IT. I worked in an IT company, but my interest was not so much towards IT. So of course I am an entrepreneur who has a tech element in our business. But yeah, I've changed. I wanted to build something in entrepreneurship. That's why we are giving the taste of everything to our women so that they can choose. That's why it's very important to learn, Jaslin. I would say, for a career restarter, Instead of just thinking, we have seen some bankers also. Okay, they'll be like, I worked in banking sector these years. This is the kind of experience I have, but now I want to work from home. How is it possible for a banker? It's not possible. You have to ready to go back after the upskilling. That is only way. If you want an opportunity again in banking, if you have worked in some medical field in hospitals or so, you have to go back. No other choice. A doctor cannot sit at home and work. So if that is not the case, what other things you can consider with that skill set or the skill set which you're going to acquire? How you can work from home? What are all the avenues available? We just have to search. That's all. Everything is available in internet. We just have to take the time, ask the right questions, and search. I think that will give a lot of answers.
So you help them figure out what is the industry they want to go back. You give them all this exposure so that they don't necessarily have to go back, and they can decide what is in the market today and what they want to. Now, suppose I'm a candidate who has come and I have decided this is the industry I want to go back to. I'm just going to take IT because I'm from IT and it's easier for me to relate. So, suppose, I worked in IT, I took a break of say 3 years, and now I've come back. I looked at all these, presentations, and I feel like I still want to go back to IT, right? So then, what is the next step that you suggest?
Okay. So if somebody is telling that, then we ask them, so many technologies, particularly in AI, right? That is the next thing. So what are all the next set of options which is available? What are all the skill sets which she can acquire? And we don't have a courses kind of a thing, Jaslin. So of course, we encourage them to go and check from other edtech platforms as well so that they can upskill themselves. And we do some partnership activities also with the other course creating platforms and businesses so that if we feel that they are reliable, we can directly connect them with them. So, for example, there is a platform which is enabling students with latest AI technologies and so on and so forth. So we have a partnership with them and we direct these candidates to them and help them to understand what to do next. So in some way or the other, we try to mold them. But but many a times, right, it is not just about that. Only few people are able to see that they may have to invest their time, money, and energy, right? So a course may not be free all the time. We may have to invest a little, but are we ready to do that? Right? That's why I have invited you as a speaker in one of the sessions because you can give the insider view of what is happening in the industry, right? So at times I give such sessions also so that they will get an idea about the speakers. We connect with speakers also. We take direct mentorship from them also at times. So like that we try to figure out. But
Understood.
yeah, but at least in IT we might be able to figure out. But let's say if it is civil or some other industry which we don't have a clue, then all we can do is just give them a abstract framework.
Framework.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
to follow that and they have to find it on themselves by their own energy and effort. So that is the
understood.
thing. Yeah.
Now, once they have upskilled themselves, right? You also spoke about pricing often, right? Salary pricing. How do they price themselves, right? How do they figure out what is the correct salary package or freelancing if they're doing? What is the right pricing for themselves? How do you help them figure that out?
Okay. So actually, in the initial days when we used to get content writing projects and all, so when we approach content writers, right? So few would have praised it very high, and few will be like they would have praised it very low. So for we know the median amount, and we tell them, for those who are priced very high, we tell them that anyway we are going to get a lot of projects. So if you give the highest quality, if you can provide the high quality work, and if we can build this trust between us, probably we can work on a pricing which is somewhere midway, so that it will be win-win for both. And we help them to get consistent project flow. We have helped that, and for few who have priced it very low, we encourage them to increase the price because we know the pricing, right? So we help them, but we always tell that you have to give the quality, right? We ensure that whether they have that kind of a quality of work, and we tell them. And for few, even now, yesterday when we were talking, few they don't even know, Jaslin. They will just guess, do some guesswork. And I saw an interesting resume. The person has mentioned that she has around 1 year of experience or so, and it has been 5 to 6 years since she has taken a career break. And her previous salary was around 15,000, and she mentioned that she can put 5 hours and she's ready to work if we can pay her 45,000. 1 year experience, 15,000, 6 years of career break, 5 hours per day, not even 5 hours, between 1 to 3, she's ready to work, something like that she mentioned. And for that 45,000, which is not going to happen. So we openly tell, no, you cannot do that. And there are few people who will be like, who would have had very good experience, but they'll be like, no, this much is fine. The every opportunity which comes in, the clients will be speaking to us first. They tell us, this is the kind of opening, this is the kind of people I'm looking for, and this is the price which we have fixed. And if we feel that it is very low for that number of years of experience and for the kind of skills which they are looking for, we tell them it is not going to work out. Many a times clients ask us, how much do you think that will be good? I want that person to work well. I don't want to give very low, pay very low, and get a low quality work. So we tell them, this is a decent amount, this you can price. So the same way, we try to come up with a center price. We help women so that they can understand that. And there are, of course, people who always think that I think I have to tell this here, Jaslin. Once, I think a year back or so, there was a requirement, and the client was ready to pay 60,000 rupees per month, and that person has to work only 5 hours for 5 days. 2 days will be holidays. Saturday, Sunday holiday, 5 hours. The monthly salary is 60,000 rupees. I was super happy because such a good opportunity, right? Who will
Yeah.
pay for 5 hours 60,000 rupees,
Yeah.
right? It's a good deal for a and they were not asking for 10 years or so experience and all. They were asking for 3 to 4 years of experience. Very good. And we couldn't find a lot of people in this for this requirement. Many
What
thought
was the reason?
that they are going to pay well, so they might
It's a
get
trap.
they might make us to work a lot. So that is one mindset. And second thing is, how are they going to pay me? I'm not even that worth. They have very good experience, but they were so scared to apply because not worthy of this pay. That is a wrong mindset, right? We were able to map some 3 candidates or so. One didn't appear in the last minute, and then one didn't dress up well. Then the other was good, and she got selected. So we were super happy, but it should not have, it should be easy, right? I wanted
Yeah,
a lot of
you
women
were
to come up and
surprised.
apply. Yeah.
I get it. Now, one another thing that I wanted to talk about from a practical standpoint, right? So you said, okay, so I want to go back to IT, or you said people can even switch careers, and you sort of support that. How do you sort of build a resume in that? So yes, I can Google, I can have some courses, but that's basically what I have. And yes, I can put some transferable skills from my motherhood journey and also from my previous experience. But that is sort of all I have, right? So mentally, I would feel at least my resume is maybe not that good or missing something, and it's going to be competing with a lot of other women or people who don't have any of those, right? So how do you sort of help them frame that resume?
Okay. So personally, in the last thousands of women which we have seen, We haven't even encountered one case where an IT employee wants to switch to a mechanical engineering work or something like that. It is not going to happen, right? So probably she might want to, instead of going back to the same industry, working a full-time job, um, she might become a content writer, or she might want to become a website developer, an app developer, something which she can freelance. Most of the switch happens from a full-time job to freelancing, all that. So if you have to freelance, if you're going to learn a new skill, of course she has to learn about app development and so on. Learning alone will not play much role when you're applying or when you are bidding, right? So you have to have some kind of a proof of work, some kind of a portfolio which can show that you have this skill set which you can deliver. So for that, she has to collect some evidences. Again, she has to work. Even we have suggested few. It can be, a free engagement also. Let's assume that somebody is going to become a digital marketer after being a lecturer. If she wants to get into a digital marketing thing, then of at least for her known circle, in her known circle, she can find few people, some 4 to 5 people, work, apply her skills, work with them, improve their performance, business performance, and then showcase those results in the portfolio, create a portfolio. That portfolio is going to speak, right?
Understood.
That is well and good. But if we are like, no, this is my skill, I have learned, this is my certificate. Okay, I have finished this, you pay me this only, then I will work. People, it doesn't work that way, at least even now. So we should be open to take up some challenge, see that as an investment. We can take up that money later, actually. So see that as an investment, do some couple of projects, learn, understand the real world scenario. Whatever we have learned, it will be completely different from what is happening in the industry. So ready to showcase work. And many another mistake, Jaslin, is what we have seen is they will be the same forever, or they will get they don't ask for much money.
So they start with a number and they just forget about changing or asking for more later.
Yeah. So they would have started free, and then they will remain free forever. That is wrong. You don't have to showcase your work as a free thing, freemium. Keep that freemium forever or for a year or so. Probably in the first 1 to 2 months, build some, proof of work. Show that, you have to consistently project your work. See if you can do that. Create as many proof of work as possible, examples as possible. I think it will happen. So this is the main change of careers which we have seen. And of course, there is another category. I'm taking some time here, but I want to tell it here. IT engineers becoming teachers. That is also happening, actually.
Fair.
Yeah, because at least if you are a teacher, you'll have that work-life balance. They have that kind of a notion. Their family, they think that if you're going to an IT company, then you may have to work from 10 to 7 or 11 to 9 or whatever. You may have to, there might be so much pressure. Better you go to a preschool, even for preschool. We have seen resumes. And yeah, for that, if it is B.Ed, they have to learn B.Ed means they go ahead and again study B.Ed and then take some time and go back. But personally, I would say that what kind of a trade-off we are ready to, what kind of a trade-off we are ready to do, that plays a major role, right? So if the trade-off to shift our career is decent, it's okay. And if we can be happy, or if we can build something fulfilling in our second innings, go ahead and do the trade-off. But if we are going to get into the same rut again, then probably it's not worth it. So we have to think for the long term.
Right. Now, suppose somebody has come and all of that from their perspective, they're all in. But have there been cases where they have come and said that I'm willing, but I don't have family support? Are there ways that you help them navigate that? or is that something you let it be for the candidate to manage?
We just try to understand, Jaslin. So for few of the candidates, right, they might be very scared even to talk about the idea of restarting. They'll immediately come and register here, and they might ask for some guidance or so. And when we speak, if we get to know that that is the case, we encourage them and go and talk. Particularly, the first point is to talk to your husband openly and make him understand. In many cases, they are able to understand actually. Okay, so then they come back and then they go ahead. And in few cases, even the husband is not a person who gets convinced, and the in-laws are not that supportive. And in that case, if it is not going to, if this decision is not going to hurt anybody, right? We have a candidate. So she started working. Only after working for 2 years, her family got to know that she was working.
How? Like, was she hiding in her room and working?
No, the thing is, nothing was. She was in that kind of a mental pressure that she wanted to work. She wanted to have her own money. There was no support from the family. She was doing everything, taking care of the child, working, everything. Already she was doing everything, household work, everything. And her husband, he doesn't come to home during the day hours, and his uh, routine is very erratic, I guess. He is not that kind of an open-minded person. Also, she was not living with her in-laws or family, so she started working because she knows if she asks, he's definitely going to say no. After 2 years or so, only she told that I'm working and do something, but everything else has to be in place. There are people who's like that also, but but we cannot do anything in that case, right? We cannot do anything. And I think we have to show more examples of women who are doing good, and the next generation only has to answer this, just like, unfortunately we have to raise our uh, children well, else it's not going to change.
That's true, Shankari. Now, another question I had was, suppose I have joined back, right? And my family is sort of okay with me as long as, say, it's flexible and all that. Uh, but imagine, like, you are living with your in-laws or whatever, right? How do you sort of help them manage that boundary? Because sometimes what happens is people, especially elders, have this mindset that if you're working from home, you're not really working, or you don't have a lot of work, right? And especially for a woman who's just going back saying, oh, I have flexible work, I just have to work a little bit hours and all that. How do you help them set those boundaries, that this is how you will have to navigate your house chores versus your work? How do you help them differentiate and set those boundaries?
To do this, we cannot directly go and tell each and every woman who have registered with us, right? So we do through the skill development programs only. We have skill set based as well as mindset based programs. So I think first, though there is a support system, like somebody to look after our children, but when there is an elder at home, the expectations increases. And working from home, literally, as you have mentioned, they take it as you are at home and you have to do everything and anything. If anybody comes, you have to go and answer. Even when you are sitting in a meeting, you are expected to do all that. So having a dedicated workspace is something which helps. And we have to set a routine. We have to, it it might seem kind of a what to say, not so good way, but that's okay. That's okay. This girl will go to this dedicated space and she'll be sitting there from this time to this time and nobody can disturb her. That we have to make them understand. That you can make them understand only when you do it consistently. One day you're sitting and working that, then the next day you yourself is standing in the kitchen and cooking at 11 o'clock.
It's like dealing with a toddler, right?
correct. You have to set the routine.
You have to be consistently sending the right message. One day
Absolutely.
you skip, they will take that as a hint.
Absolutely. They will ask, yesterday you didn't do that. Why are you asking me to do this now? Right. So, what is the best thing which we have seen is, Jaslin, when you are working, we have to, have a routine. So, it's better to cook, do all the chores in the morning, finish up, dress up, go sit in a good space, work from there. You step out only for your lunch, having lunch. Your house can be messy. That's okay. Many women, they find it so hard. They cannot accept the fact that the house is messy. If you are doing a lot of things, of course your house will be messy. It's okay. Nobody is going to come and see. But if your in-laws is there and home, you tell them, Ma, I will clean in the evening. I have work. I will do it later. So that, are you ready to do that? That is the first thing, right? Setting up a routine, talking back in a polite way. You don't have to fight with them. You just have to tell them. But something I have noticed is, Jaslin, I think, if you have a working parent or working in-laws, right? I have seen they can understand if you show that you are serious, right? When I decided to take a career break, my amma and appa was were like, okay. And when I decided to restart, they were like, why you have to restart now? But to my surprise, my mother-in-law, when I decided to take a career break, she was like, why are you taking a career break? And when I decided to restart, she was like, okay, good. Anyway, support is there or not, that is secondary, but at least some kind of acknowledgement. Okay. And whenever I get featured in some newspapers or all that, she used to be very happy. Oh, see, she's doing all that, you know, that they will get. But initially, she was kind of skeptical only. Oh my God, she's not taking care of the child. The child is crying. She was pissed. But the moment they see, okay, you are growing, you are doing something, then they will understand. But are we giving that space to them? Are we ready to keep them clueless for a while? Right, that makes a whole lot of
Yeah.
sense. If we go and tell that every day, Ma, this happened, that happened, this girl is always complaining. She doesn't want to continue. Just don't allow her to work, or something they will tell. So you
Yeah.
have to know where to talk, whom to talk, when to talk, right? So I think that'll help.
Makes sense. So it was. I think we covered most of the topics that I sort of wanted to. So I'm just going to summarize it. So if somebody wants to come back, I think first thing they need to start working is on their mindset. Start regaining your confidence. Write down your previous achievements, things like that, and then obviously register in your portal. If they don't want to do that, then they can figure out through other portals and things like that. Understand what is it and understand the why, and then go into the what you want to do, and then probably go through the next steps. So I think this was very at least for me very I feel it was a good conversation, and I'm hoping anybody who is wanting to come back, because even I know a lot of women who sort of take this break. I personally did not take a technically, like I took maternity and all of that. I took leaves, but I didn't really like quit my job and take a break. uh, but I know a lot of women who do that, and even during my maternity leaves and things like that, to be honest, I felt very pointless. I felt very lost. I felt like the whole world is moving ahead and I'm just stuck. um, and I know a lot of women feel like that, right? So I'm hoping that this conversation between us, and especially the stories you shared, will really help some women, that if she can do it, so can I, right? If somebody can go back to work after 20 years, if somebody can figure out a job which is, paying you 1.3 lakhs per month from a three-tier village, living in a joint family, you can do it too. And I'm hoping that, this will help some women change their lives. It was really, really wonderful talking to you, Shankari. Is there anything that you want to say before we close the podcast?
Yeah, Jaslin, I think I have a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
So, in the entire world, less than 5% of women are sitting in boardrooms. We are still learning to understand, business or leadership position is something which is still new for women, because most of the work which women used to do was something which supports men, right? Some janitor, or in very basic work they used to do clerical work, teaching. Teaching is good, but yeah, we were not sitting in the leadership level. So now the world is changing, and you are one such person who is doing really well in your career. Who is in a leadership position. What do you think which we have to have in mind when we are climbing up the ladder? And one non-negotiable which we have to in mind, and what motivates you to do that? Because you mentioned that you didn't take any kind of a break, and even in career, like maternity, you felt lost, right? And you are pursuing what you like, and you are not pursuing, you are leading. So tell me, what is that thing which is motivating you to go to the next level, and what is one non-negotiable when we have to go to a leadership position?
First of all, thank you, Shankari, for the kind words. Right. I think I don't know. So, what motivates me, to be honest? I grew up knowing that women were not enough for just being, which is a mindset I'm trying to change, to be honest. I grew up seeing that men were given more importance because they brought money. Again, it's not a good mindset. I don't think money equals to power and all of that anymore. But that's how I sort of grew up. And so, in my mind, I was very clear that I don't want to be a homemaker. I want to be someone who brings in the money, not only because of the money, but I realized that money does give you a lot of power. I'm not taking away from the power from money. May not be the best mindset, but unfortunately, that is a subconscious mindset that we have. Um, so that was something I was very clear on, that I do not want to be a homemaker. And I do want to make sure that I do something of value even when I get married or I have a kid. And I still remember, I don't know the name of this person. I still remember when I was young, we used to have Outlook every month. I don't remember the name, but I remember a CEO, women CEO's photo. And it said that she took leaves only 2 days in her entire career, which was the day she gave birth and the day after that. And I was like, oh my God. And I found that so motivating, that somebody can do this. You can have a family and still be a CEO. And I really, really look up to Indra Nooyi, to be honest. I think, like, she is my role model. And again, an Indian woman from a very Indian family, whenever she talks about her parents, or I can totally relate to it, right? Like, we all have the same struggles. So when I looked at those people, I realized that you can do the same. You can do it without having to put up major fights. Like you said, fight politely, which is what I try to do always. That is what motivated me. I do agree with you that very few women are there at senior leadership roles. Often I'm sitting in meetings, especially when you're dealing with Indian or Asian clients, where I'm probably the only woman on the table. um, and you notice that as a woman, you notice uh, I remember there was one important partnership event we went for, which was about 50 people, and probably we were two or three women. And I thought the gap is very, very huge, especially on the Asian side, or not so much on the Western side of the world. I think it comes from a mindset, is what I feel. I don't think women are less intelligent. If you look at data in universities and colleges, we are the toppers. The number of engineers passing out in terms of women versus men are generally more women. Even in juniors, you will see a lot of women doing really well, but it's like we discussed the theory of the missing
Women.
women, right? That is what happens. Even if they don't take a career break, I've noticed that their mindset sort of shifts when they get married and when they have a kid. And that is something that I'm not saying that don't be a wife, don't be a mother. I am a wife and I'm a mother. um but we share responsibilities, right? We make sure that for example, in our household, right, the cook, he deals with the cook 3 days a week, I deal with the cook 3 days a week, right? Because we don't want one of us to feel overburdened, right? Because we're both doing what we like as well. So that's the way you make sure that you build a small set of people around you who can support you. And I think that's important, and if you don't have that, I do feel that you need to step away from it. um I don't think that you need to live a life that just for pleasing others, because then you're living somebody else's life, you're not living someone. That's all. I think the non-negotiable, according to me, is just the mindset, like you said, right? You can learn things if you have the right attitude. Of course, aptitude is important, but if you have the right attitude, I think you figure it out. You figure out what is right for you, and then you do that. Whether it is like you took a career break, but now you look at you, right? You're such an amazing entrepreneur. And whether you continue the job or whether, I think it's the mindset. I think women forget everything the moment they get married, and um but the truth is nobody else other than you is forgetting that your husband is still going to go back and he's still going to be as engrossed in his work as he was before. Yes, there is that initial romance and all that, but that is not life. And you are going to feel dissatisfied if you make that your life. So I think it's basically the mindset. If you have the right mindset, you can figure it out. If not, you will struggle. Like you said, I've also seen women who are just lazy to not put in the basic effort. And if that happens, yes, you will not be considered. And I also feel bad when I see such women, because I agree with you that every time a woman does something unprofessional, because those are things which are just unprofessional, she's putting other women down, is what I feel. Not, again, maybe too much pressure for someone to deal with, but unfortunately it's the hard truth of the society, right? There is always that mental bias. And yeah, when I went back also, I had that bias. And I remember my boss was not giving me a lot of work, and I called him and I asked, like, what is happening? Is there not much happening in the organization? And he said that, no, you just came back from maternity, so I didn't want to, like, put you on late evening calls and things like that. I said, put me. If I can't, I will tell you. And sometimes I think women have to do that. You have to go and ask for opportunities. You may not get it like men do. Just, and maybe it's coming from the right place, right? I know it was coming from the right place. He just didn't want to overburden me. But if you are somebody who wants it, I think go and ask for it. I remember there was one sales deal for which they wanted me to travel, and I was still breastfeeding at that time. And I sarcastically said to my manager at that point, I can travel if you make my child and my nanny travel. Obviously, I assumed that is, he's going to laugh it off. And he said, yes, we can make that happen. And that's when I realized, right, it's about saying it out. We are just so hesitant to even ask for this. Nobody will go and tell their manager, yeah, I can travel for a deal if, you can make my nanny and my kid travel. And they made them travel. I went, I presented the deal, I did all of that with my nanny and my kid being able to travel. So I just think it's about asking, it's about putting, and as long as you're sincere, when you combine that, everybody understands. For the first 3 months of my pregnancy, I could not work because I had terrible nausea. And I was skeptical. You have all these things that, oh my God, I just got pregnant and I'm not even able to work. Like, what is my life going to look like? But it wasn't like that. They were, all my managers were very, very understanding. In fact, they assured me that in 4 months you will be back. And that was right. And then I was working till My daughter was born on September 16th, I think till September 14th, because September 15th I went into labor. Till September 14th I was working. So it was very much, once my, the first trimester sort of wrapped up, I was fine. But I got immense support during those 3 months. So I think a lot of times we are so skeptical to say it out. People are willing to work out with you just like you are doing with organizations, provided you're open and you're sincere. The time that you are there, you're sincere. You're like, when during those 3 months I said, give me work, but I'll do it at my time. Don't put me in client meetings, because I remember there were meetings where suddenly I would want to throw up and I would run out of the meeting. I can't do. So I said, my body is not reliable right now. Give me work which is like, I don't want to be in a meeting. Give me work, I'll do it and give it off. And they did that, and I used to do it at my own pace, because sometimes I'm fine in the night, so I'm doing that. Sometimes I'm fine in the morning, so I didn't have working hours, I just had work. So those are flexibilities which I got because I was open and I was sincere. So I truly believe it's that combination of having the right mindset, and things sort of work out, is what I believe. That's, according to me, the non-negotiable. If you don't have the right mindset, if you're always complaining, if you're always lazy, if you're always wanting the other person to figure out a way for you, that's not going to happen. It's always has to be a collaboration. um,
Absolutely.
like you said, in that case, when the mother-in-law passed away, if she had just given you a call and said, my mother-in-law has passed away, you need to give me a month before I can even like decide something, you would have been more than okay to do that.
Also,
Right. And you would have understood that. And then if she had come back after a month and said, I need one more month, you would have still been okay. And after that second month, if she had said, okay, now I am ready, you would have given her that support. Right. It's often about just having that openness to collaborate and work it out, that can do wonders for everybody.
absolutely. Holding on to whatever promises which we have made for ourselves, and understanding that we are the only person who can save ourselves. Like many a times we feel that somebody will come and save us. We feel that somebody will come and rescue us. And that's not going to happen. And being a victim in our own story is not going to happen. Telling some kind of a sob story. And if we step out of our home and if we see the real world, there are so many more people who have much more worse story, but but still they are doing what that has to be done. But here we are sitting in the comfort of our home, having a good family, having everything and anything. That's why, Jaslin, I think with this message, I'll wrap it up. Uh, for women, so I was just watching a show in the morning. Okay, so that gave me a new dream. I think I will just do you know actor Surya? Actor Surya?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so actor
Yeah.
Surya has an organization, a NGO called Aharam. So through that, they help to educate children. Okay, they help students who to pay their college fees, to pay their school fees and all those, and they help them to get to the next level. So they help predominantly first time you know
Okay.
what do they call the first time they are the ones who are getting degrees. Okay,
Okay,
in their
understood.
family. And so it's been 15 years since they have started, and they were able to help 6,500 students in the last 15 years. And there were so many students who studied through Aharam, who are now doctors, engineers, PhD scholars, working in IIMs and so on and so forth, working in different parts of the country, whose parents were just laborers, like labors. Okay, so laborers only they call, no, laborers, and they were not even for having the single meal. They were struggling. Most of them, they didn't even have their parents. And he mentioned that out of 20,000 homes they visited to do a survey, they are underprivileged. Almost 35% of such households had men who were drinking, who had drinking problems, and because of that they don't contribute anything to the family. So only the woman, the female, has to take care of her child, and somehow she did some odd jobs. Most of them, they don't have any education, so they work as a maid, they work in some kind of a factory and all those, and they were raising their children. Those ladies have more guts than us, than any of us put together.
That
They
is true.
don't have education, they are not coming from a privileged, they don't have their husbands or relatives to support. They might be living in a single room, the only thing they have is their children, and they want them to have a different kind of story. For that, they are ready to do everything and anything in their potential, and they make it happen. So these are the women who are coming as our maids, our cleaners, and all those. We just think that you know we just don't look into their stories, but they are the ones who are actually contributing to India's economy. If you look at it,
That's true.
only less than 6% of educated women are working in India. What are they doing? Are we not educated anymore? No. Previous generation, probably there was a lot of skeptical thinking in terms of educating girl children, but now we are all educated. We are all comfortably educated sitting at home.
That's
So,
true.
okay, if it is your choice, yes, of course. But also, we are at a point of time wherein we have to question ourselves where that thinking is coming from, right? Why we have to do? Being financially independent means not just about making money, right? It means more than that. You are showing your girl children that you can have a money of your own. You have fantastically, you have mentioned something which is very good, because even I was coming from that kind of a mindset. I thought that men are much better than women, and all those kind of a negative thoughts, because that's what I have seen, right? We are rewriting the story, and I
Correct.
think that we have to take that kind of a we have to learn that kind of a guts from the akkas who are coming to our home, who are helping us to keep this household clean and helping us with cooking and all those. It is not about the kind of education we have. It's not about the kind of place we come from, and it's not about the kind of family we are coming from. It's all about who we are as a person. So if we can do that, we are not
That's
just
true.
changing our what to say, our தலையெழுத்து in Tamil they call. We are not just changing
Our fate or
fate,
destiny.
destiny. We are changing the fate of the entire generations to come, and that relies in the hand of the lady, of that woman. It's not with that man, right? You are the one who can change everything. So let us put our education to use. Let's not be so selfish. Let us be service of some service to others. Let us add value to people. Let us try. You know, it, it's much bigger than you. That's what I want to say. I'm just putting that seed here. You can do more.
Very, very well said, Shankari. I think with that, we'll close this. With that perfect message, we'll close it. Thank you so much for your time. I had a wonderful time chatting with you, Shankari, and really hoping that this message reaches far and wide.
Thank you so much, Jaslin. It was wonderful talking to you.